pretty simple, but for some reason people get confused on this. People get mixed up on this and think that people can read their minds. You think people can read your mind? Or you think that, come on baby, come on Nalani. Or you think you can read other people's minds? No. No. You gotta communicate your wants and needs if you want to be understood. If you want to keep things to yourself, then no worries. Not everybody needs to know. That's okay too. So in this video, as we take the dog for a walk, as I take my charge up, wake up stroll, we're just going to talk a little bit about putting what you want into the world, putting the word out there. It's not some magic, The Secret. It's not some magic law of attraction. It's just like if you want a job, come on, if you want to hire someone, you got to post a job, right? Expect just somebody's going to show up. If there's things you need from other people, they're not going to read your mind. They're not going to see you. They're not going to just say, oh, I read your mind and I think you want this and I'm just going to give it to you. No. So this video is going to help you simply get what you want and also get what you need in life. And if that sounds interesting to you, if that sounds good to you, then welcome in, fam. Much love. Trav here. Hit the thumbs up if that sounds useful. And if you enjoy these morning walks, these strolls, with the birds, with the bees, with the sun, with the trees, with the breeze, it's kind of nice to get out and just be outside and in the sunshine and have a little talk. So what inspired me for this video was, I don't want to go into, I guess, too much detail to blow someone up, but by the way, key with the dog on the leash, you can't ever let her win. If she wants to tug, she's gonna get tugged. Yeah, I guess there's a certain person who has wanted people to do something, like clean up something, for years and never communicated it. And their position has been that I shouldn't have to ask, like y'all should be adults, y'all should know. But nobody was able to read his mind. So he's been upset about this thing for years without communicating. So I thought that was really interesting. I thought it was an interesting case of, like, why can't you guys read my mind? Like, why? You should just know. No. So in any kind of relationship, and this is, I mean, obviously, if it's a work relationship, people shouldn't just know what to do. You gotta tell them. And something that's really interesting and related is when I see, like, sometimes I see more experienced people getting mad at new people because they don't know what to do. It's like, well, they're new. They're not gonna read your mind, right? You need to tell them. It's your job to train people. Like we talked about, it's your job to train your dog. It's your job to train people in your life. And how do you train people in your life? You train the people in your life by telling them what to do, by telling them what you need, by telling them what's on your mind, right? So work relationships, it can be, I mean, friend relationships where it's like if your friend's teasing you and you don't want to be teased, you gotta say, hey, that's cool, I don't like that. They're not gonna read your mind like, oh, I never knew, right? It's been years and I never knew because you never told me. And I would have respected it. I would have respected you. I just didn't know. You never told me, right? So that's something to look out for in romantic relationships as well as, oh, you should just know to do that. I shouldn't have to ask. Well, you do have to ask. I mean, you could go with the shoulds and it should be this way, but it's not that way. Like, you do have to ask for what you want. It's like, I shouldn't have to ask for My partner should just know to rub my back. No, you have to ask. They don't know that, right? My partner should know to ask how my day is. I shouldn't have to ask. Well, you do. Is the reality is you have to ask for what you want. If you're not getting it, you gotta ask for what you want. No. She's going crazy. I'm gonna take her off the leash. Sit, 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 sit. She don't want to sit right now. She want to go crazy. Yeah. She's still a puppy, so I'm taking her to. Nope. Taking her to. Nope. Nope. Down. Puppy training classes starting in 2 weeks. Down. No. That's another thing. Like, she can't read my mind. It's like, dog, just say it in the right tone. It's like, no, they gotta be trained in a specific way. They gotta be treated. They gotta be punished. They don't speak English initially. They don't know. You gotta train them. You gotta reward when they do the right thing. Nobody reads minds. Nobody's a mind reader. And there's another thing where this is useful too. It's something that's just gonna improve your outlook on life, is understanding that you're also not a mind reader. When you're trying to guess everybody's intentions, you're trying to figure out, why did he do that? Why did she say that? Is it because they're this way, or is it because they're that? Like, once you just step back and say, like, I don't really know what other people think or feel necessarily. I can ask to find out, but I'm not going to guess or assume necessarily. I don't know. I don't know. Then it frees a lot of mental space and saves you from speculating and telling the wrong story as well. Because when we think we can mind read other people, we think we can know what happens, and that leads to a lot of misunderstandings, because we think, oh, you did this because you were thinking this. It's like, no, that's not what happened, right? So mind reading is another. Trying to mind read is problematic, just like assuming that other people can read your mind. It's like, sorry that this magic hippie shit it doesn't work. We can't read minds. This is why we have spoken word, right? You know, you can pick up some emotions, but we don't really know. We need to ask. We need to communicate. So again, there's plenty of things that you don't need to communicate. Keep to yourself. Keep it tight to the vest. But it really comes down to training people. If you want people to do certain things, if you want people to act in a certain way, then you gotta let them know. So if you want your boss to treat you in a certain way, if you want your employees to approach work in a certain way, if you want your dog to follow certain rules, if you want community members or family members to clean certain areas, if you want your partner to do certain things for you, you have to ask. Well, I shouldn't have to ask. No, maybe you're right. Maybe you shouldn't have to ask, but you do have to ask. Is the thing. This isn't about how things should be. In a perfect world, we should all just get along, but we don't. In a perfect world, you should just know, but you don't. In a perfect world, we all should have enough money, but we don't. In a perfect world, we should know how to treat each other, but we don't. In a perfect world, we don't live in a perfect world. No more shoulds. Things are the way they are. You gotta ask for what you want. You gotta put it out into the world and let people know. And let people know what you're asking for too. It's like, I'll give you one more example. Is some of the guys that I work with are into, do online dating, which is fine. Like, it's another way to meet people. I support it. but it's like, well, this really matters to me. Like, this is what I'm looking for. This is the type of person that I want. Or like, here's one non-negotiable, like one need. It's like, well, did you put that in your profile? No. Like, why? How? Why? Why not? Right? You're just not gonna magically know. People aren't gonna know. Like, how are you gonna not put your needs and wants up in your profile when you're doing that? I shouldn't have to. Well, you do have to. So, I hope you find that interesting. I found it interesting. Yeah. Humans are not that smart. We're not that adept. We're not that good at figuring things out, really. And it's okay. So, if you found that useful, as always, smash the like button. And much love. I appreciate you. Thank you. I'm really glad that you're here. And you should just know to hit the like button. I shouldn't have to ask you. No. I do need to ask. And it's okay. I'm happy to ask. I don't mind asking. You're gonna get no sometimes. But at least you asked. You did your part. So, peace. Much love. Talk to you soon. Gonna get her back on the leash. She's gonna go. She likes to chase these chickens. Alright, later. Peace.